I want to share a personal story with you to illustrate what I mean when I say one decision to make a change can literally create a seismic shift that can set you in a totally different direction in your life. 14 years ago, I made a decision that did just that. I didn't know it at the time, but it would be the beginning of everything good that happened since. That decision was to quit drinking. And today, I want to share the story behind that moment, which led up to it, why I knew I had to stop, and how that one choice created a ripple effect that could never have been imagined. Now, if you're struggling with something that feels like it has a grip on you, or even just feeling like you're meant for more, I hope this gives you some inspiration. Now, there's a version of me most people today wouldn't recognize. Back then, drinking was just part of everything. Celebrations, stress, weekends, Tuesdays, it didn't matter. It was how I coped, how I connected, and how I avoided the truth. And on the outside, I was holding it all together. I showed up for work every day. I was functioning. I was smiling. But on the inside, I was spiraling. And there were moments, tiny wake up calls that I totally ignored. Mornings I couldn't remember the night before. Conversations I regretted. Promises I broke to others and to myself. And slowly, I started to feel like I was living outside of my own integrity. Not because I was a bad person, but because I knew deep down this wasn't who I really was. I remember so many mornings feeling awful and staring in the mirror. I would continue to hear this quiet voice in my ears saying, "This has got to stop." That voice, the one we try to silence with another glass of wine or another distraction, was louder than ever. And for once, I didn't push it away. I just sat there and whispered back, "I can't do this anymore." And that whisper turned into a decision. It wasn't easy. It certainly wasn't glamorous, but it was real and it was enough. Here's what no one tells you about making a huge change. The world doesn't suddenly become easier, but you get clearer. In the beginning, I had to relearn how to live, how to feel things without numbing out, how to socialize without a drink in my hand, how to sit with discomfort and not run from it. But over time, things started to shift. I started to trust myself again. My relationships deepened. I stopped saying yes to things that weren't aligned. I found new ways to feel alive, real ways, sustainable ways. And the most surprising thing, quitting drinking wasn't the end of anything. It was the beginning of everything. My confidence, my clarity, my purpose, the work I do now, the people I love, the peace I feel when I wake up in the morning. That one decision, made quietly and with steadfast determination, changed everything. Saying no to what wasn't serving me created room for everything that does. It made me realize how many other things in my life I was tolerating: mediocre boundaries, performative success, living for other people's approval. Sobriety gave me agency. And with that agency, I built a new life, one rooted in truth, presence, and self-respect. And the wildest part is, I didn't have a 10-step plan. I didn't know what came next. So if you're watching this and you're feeling like something in your life needs to change, whether it's drinking or anything else that is destroying your sense of self, I want you to know this. You don't need to fall to your knees to have a breakthrough. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to get honest about what's no longer aligned and make one decision that brings you back to yourself. Your story isn't over. You're not broken. You're just being invited to something better. And if my story can serve as even a flicker of hope for you today, I'm grateful. Here's to your one brave decision. It's enough, you're enough, and you have no idea what's waiting for you on the other side. If any of this resonates, hit the subscribe button so we can let you know when our next video drops.